Hello, Marengo Mike here, bringing you another best of COS Indiana Live broadcast. So settle back and enjoy. We'll see you all back here again next week. Hello and welcome to COS Indiana Live as we bring you Roundtable. The Roundtable segment is presented here every fourth Monday of the month at 7 p.m. We'll be focusing on education and discussion of the topics and challenges we all face as we use the Constitution to save the Constitution. Join us now as we bring you COS Indiana Roundtable with our MC, John Ackerman.
I'm your host, John Ackerman. You know, just a few days ago, we celebrated Veterans Day, and therefore our first guests will be the COS National Veterans Coordinator, Rodney Huckleberry. And if our technical problems get resolved, we will also welcome our COS Indiana Veterans Coordinator, Ryan White. After we finish talking with Rodney and Ryan, our COS Indiana State Director, Dale Parrish, will tell you about our great educational resources so you can learn more about Convention of States. Then I'll welcome our state leadership team for I Want to Know, and they'll answer some important questions about Convention of States. By the way, if you have a question, you can submit it beginning right now if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube. Just click the comment button and enter your question. We'll do our best to answer you during I Want to Know. Finally, I'll invite you to join Convention of States and help us use the Constitution to save the Constitution. Before we get started, I want to ask you to help us grow our audience by clicking like if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, and by making a comment. You see, the Facebook and YouTube algorithms notice viewer responses. They know that something cool is going on, and then they show it to more of their users. So help us grow our audience by making a comment and by clicking that like button. So let's move right into the first segment. I want to invite Rodney Huckleberry to join me. Rodney is our COS National Veterans Coordinator. Welcome, Rodney.
Hey, thank you for inviting me on. This is going to be a great time. It's a great month for veterans with Veterans Day this month.
Man, yeah, we're so happy and so proud of our military veterans and happy to honor them in this small way. Rodney, I'm sitting here in Anderson, Indiana, partway between Indianapolis and Fort Wayne. So tell me where in the world you are.
Yeah, I live in Missouri, about 60 miles northwest of St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Little town called Eolia.
Okay, that gives us an idea about the miles between us, and we're reaching out to an untold number of viewers through Facebook and YouTube. Let me start off with just asking you to tell us a little bit about your own military service.
Yeah, so I wasn't born in a military family. Me and my brother, we both ended up joining the Air Force, he before me. But we were felt the need to serve at the time. It was close to the end of the Vietnam War. And so we kind of jumped in. I left high school. I actually enlisted before I left high school and served in Air Force Communications Command. And it's a kind of like a tenet command that serves on other Air Force bases. And I was on a SAC base for the time I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And about how many years total did you serve?
I was in for 4 years and 90 days. The job I had, well, part of the job I had, we had B-52 pilots that came through our shop. I was in communications. And the pilots were trying to talk me into going into OTS, Officer Training School. And I was seriously considering it, so I extended my enlistment for another 90 days to consider doing that. I opted not to. May have been a bad decision. I don't know.
Okay, 4 years and 90 days, and we do thank you for your service to our country. We appreciate it. So, what about the COS Veterans Coalition? What is it? How does it work? What does it do? What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, the Veterans Coalition is the primary, the mission for Convention of States is to grow the largest grassroots army. And that fits in with the Veteran Coalition because we're trying to recruit more veteran leaders in each state to recruit other veterans for one. But the other thing that we need to do is we have more than 100 veteran service organizations in this country and in each state. And so one leader in each state, one person that communicates with veteran service organizations, trying to get them on board to support Convention of States and come along with us to try to help fix this country. It takes several to do that, and especially in the grassroots part of it. And all of us, I got this shirt on here, you can see it. U.S. veteran, my oath never expires. That's what we all believe in. Yeah, and so every veteran we have that's stepped up, that's found out about us. There's a lot of veterans that know nothing about us. I hear every day. Yeah, and so that's what we're all about, is trying to recruit veterans to serve with their oath that never expires. And this is one way they can continue their service from the military.
Yeah, and that oath says something about support and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Am I right?
Foreign and domestic. And when I got out of the Air Force, I realized we had some domestic.
Yeah, you know, with one would think that many, if not all, veterans would like Convention of States, because as we see the federal government overreach its bounds and we see, you know, the rule of law unraveling, we really need a return to constitutional principles, and one would hope to see a lot of veterans sign up. So any idea about how many veterans belong to the coalition?
There's about 210,000, which is really small because there's like 19 million veterans in the United States. So we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start, but we've got a long ways to go.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so what can veterans do for Convention of States? How do they get involved?
Well, the first thing I'd like to see them consider is to go to the Convention of States website, to the Take Action page, and there's a Veteran Coalition Director position on there. It's got that director on the end of it, but that's just a matter of stepping into a role where you can help us recruit other veterans and recruit other like you that want to serve in like your legislative district, your House district in your state. Because we'd like to have one in every district, and in there they would be recruiting other veterans and trying to get support of the veteran service organizations.
You know, that's the way to organize a grassroots movement. You know, it's not a great big national thing, but it comes down to the cities and the towns and the counties and the townships. And that's how we're organized in every state, by the state legislative districts. And I know here in Indiana we have 100 House of Representative districts. And we would just love to have a veterans coordinator in every one of those 100 districts. They could reach hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of veterans right here in Indiana.
Yeah, absolutely. They could also recruit on social media and people in other states. They don't have. They're not limited to the state, and they're not limited to recruiting veterans either. They recruit anybody. That's what we want everybody to do.
Yeah, but this is the focus on veterans, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure is.
Okay, Dale, what you got for us?
Hey, John. I got Ryan on here finally. Let me bring him up here.
Oh, good.
And hopefully we can talk to him a bit too. Okay,
Ryan.
And we got some comments that we want to get into here in just a little bit. So
okay,
I'll step back and let you talk with let Ryan ask a few questions.
We'll talk to Ryan a little bit. Thanks, Dale. Ryan, welcome. Glad you could make it.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. Okay, so I started by asking Rodney to tell us where he is, and he's over there, what'd you say, 60 miles north of St. Louis, Missouri?
Yep.
So, Ryan, where in the world are you?
I am in Greenfield, Indiana. I am just about 20 minutes east of Indianapolis.
Yep. And you're about one county south of me. I'm sitting here in Madison County in Anderson, Indiana. So we've met before on the screen, but we haven't met in person.
That's correct.
So Ryan, I'm glad you could make it tonight. If let's start with tell us about your own military service.
So I served for 10 years in the Army. I joined shortly after 9/11. That played a heavy influence on my decision to join. My grandma had passed away shortly after 9/11, and she was a police officer, and I felt like that was my calling. And I served 10 years. First 5 years of my enlistment, I was in aviation, and I reclassed military intelligence. I got out after 10 years to spend more time with my family.
Yeah.
And over the past year, I've really come to the conclusion that we've got way too much overreach coming out of the government.
Yeah.
And I've started getting involved in local politics, and I got hooked up with COS. And I'm still new to all this, and I'm still learning all the ropes, but hopefully I can get there pretty soon and make a big difference here.
Yeah, we hope so. And you are the Indiana Veterans Coalition coordinator or director, however that title goes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to thank you for your service, 10 years in the Army post 9/11. You and a lot of other young men and women heard the call to duty and answered it. And we are deeply indebted to you and who knows how many hundreds of thousands of others. I don't know, but a whole lot of people heard the call. Rodney served a few years before you did. Yeah, 4 years and 90 days in the Air Force. So one thing, Ryan, I know for sure. Say what?
There's a little bit different color in our beards here.
Ryan, one thing I know for sure, and this is a joke, you were in military intelligence, so if you told me what you did, you'd have to shoot me, right?
That is the ongoing joke, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we understand the need for confidentiality and classified information, especially when it comes to, the war on terror, which still really isn't over. We had that thing in August when our troops were pulled out of Afghanistan, but so we're not actively at war, but the war on terror is an ongoing thing, and it's not over yet. So thank you for your service, Ryan. Do appreciate it. So tell us, how did you come to learn about Convention of States?
Okay, so I used to be on Facebook. I'm no longer on social media. I used to have advertisements come across Facebook for probably the past year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of knew about it, but I wasn't that familiar with it until about 6 months ago. I decided to get on the website and start doing a little bit of research, and I decided that I wanted to jump on and I wanted to sign the petition, and that's where it started. And I thought about it for about a week, and I got back on the website and I applied to be a volunteer. and I seen that the position that I'm in was open, and I applied for it, and it took me about 3 months to get into the position, and things just kind of fell in place. So it mainly on social media, but it wasn't really until I kind of get off my butt and did a little bit of research that I really knew what it was.
Yeah, it's about the place I was in 2014. You know, I saw probably Facebook stuff about Convention of States. I went on the website, read about it. I said, this is the real deal. And if there's anything that can save the Republic, it might be the Convention of States. And so I signed up right away. So glad to have you on board.
I 100% agree with that statement.
Okay, so you went through a training period to become the State Veterans Coalition Director, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so here you are. So just a little brief snippet about what are your plans? What do you think? What do you think about the future for the Indiana Veterans Coalition?
So I'm kind of still working on some logistics on my end. I've got a lot going on, but it is definitely not on the back burner. I'm working on a plan that over the next 6 months, I really want to attack veterans organizations in the state, VFW, American Legion, DAV. I want to start organizing that we're going to all the gun shows and we're setting up booths, or at least walking around telling people about COS.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is that there's a lot of people that don't know what it is, and everybody I talk to, they are just clueless as to what Article 5 is.
Yep.
And the more people that we can educate, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah, absolutely true. You got that right. And so just before you came on, Rodney was telling us that when people go to the conventionofstates.com, they can click the Take Action button and volunteer. And the idea is that we would love to have a veterans coordinator in every one of our 100 legislative districts across the state. And you'd be working with those local coordinators as the state director. So we hope to build up your ranks a little bit here in the near future.
I definitely look forward to that.
Great. Let's ask Dale to come back on and show us some viewer comments, and there may even be a question or two for one of you guys.
Yeah, hi guys. We've got a few comments here. This is from our Jerry Rowe. He's just saying good evening to everyone. Says from the Great Plains of Indiana and beyond. Yeah. So Jerry's in tonight, and he specifically wanted to say hi, Rodney. So,
hey, Jerry.
Rodney, you know Jerry Rowe, don't you?
Very well, yeah. Me and Jerry been together for a long time. We've been with the organization for a good time.
Yeah. Jerry's one of our SIA, Systems Information Analysts. So he's a regular attendee to our roundtable meetings. And this is one of our new region captains. And he's saying, Rodney, thanks for your service. Yeah. And speaking, he's also saying to Ryan, thank you for your service, Ryan. Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Dale.
Yeah. All right. And we got another, this gentleman is, let me see, I'm getting lost here. Yeah. Our Patrick Romack is, he wanted to say hello to everyone. Patrick's helps George as the state grassroots coordinator. And he is saying he would be interested. So Ryan, where'd Ryan go? He disappeared on us.
We might have lost our connection with him.
Yeah, that happens, you know.
Yeah, the internet's not perfect.
But he might be interested in maybe helping Ryan out on his. Oh, there he is. He's back now. Yeah. Ryan, you might want to remember this name, Patrick Romack. He may want to help you out in your efforts here in Indiana.
Awesome. So, I'm still working on learning how the email works. So if anybody wants to shoot my email out to anybody can feel free to contact me.
Okay. All right. And as a matter of fact, Patrick wanted to make the comment that yes, our oath never expires. Rodney, is that true? The oath never, and Ryan, is that true? The oath never expires?
Yes.
That's 100% correct. That's the way I live my life, and every veteran that I've known lives their life by that same oath. It does not expire. It expires the day that I hit the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah, and if you want one of these shirts, they're in the Convention of State store.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
saying. But that is very true. Our oath never expires. It's a lifetime oath once you take it. That's why we're still veterans. We're still part of the military, essentially. And so, yeah, it never expires.
Yeah. You know, things have really changed. I'm kind of barging in here on the interview, John, but I'm a veteran myself. I was in the Army back in the 60s. But I can remember the time when, you know, veterans were not thought very highly of in our country. I distinctly remember coming home on leave from overseas and walking through the airport. I believe it was in San Francisco, and I had to step over protesters that were, you know, laying in the aisles and protesting. So I can remember there were not so pleasant days in the past, but that seems to have changed a great deal. I mean, veterans are very well thought of today, I think. And,
Yeah.
And that's really a good thing. Glad to see that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dale, Ryan, Dale's got a question here. Dale Tipton, one of our region captains. What kind of person are you looking for as a Veterans Coalition representative in one of our COS districts? So, Ryan, you want to tackle that?
So I would say that one of the key things that we'd be looking for is someone that is going to be able to dedicate time. If you don't have time to dedicate the COS, it's going to be really hard to be in a position like that. So we want someone that's going to have time, someone that's outgoing, willing to talk to people, someone that's very educated on COS and what we stand for.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Rodney,
if you want, pardon?
Rodney, give us the national version of the answer.
Yeah. So we weren't really getting the Veteran Coalition started and organized up until, basically just a few months ago. I stepped in and started trying to lead this great group of veterans that we've got for Veteran Coalitions. Right now, there's 120 of them nationally. So as you can see, we need more. But so what we've got some really good ones that have been on for a little bit longer than the others. So we have a mentor program in it, and we need to get Ryan hooked up with one of the mentors too. So we're looking for people that are willing to just recruit other veterans. We'll use our tools, and we'll train you on how to use the tools in our system to do that. And that's recruiting from the database within Convention of States to be leaders. This is out of the 210,000 that we've got. And then we can help and guide you in how to go out and recruit veterans out in the public too. But our mentors also guide you in how to organize a team in your state. So you don't really have to know a lot to be a Veteran Coalition director. You don't have to have, skills or anything like that, because we'll work with you on how to get that done.
Okay. All right.
Well, that sounds good. I think we probably need to move on. And so I'm going to thank Ryan and thank Rodney for coming and joining us tonight. And Dale, you stay on the screen here because you have the next segment.
All right.
But I want to say goodbye to Rodney and Ryan. Thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks John. Have a great evening.
All right.
Yep.
Well, now as we move into the education segment, I just want to remind everybody that if you have any questions at all about Convention of States, you can post them right now if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube just by clicking the comment button. And remember, you can help us grow this audience when you ask that question or whenever you click the like button. So now we move into the second big segment. Dale, take it away and talk to us about education.
Yeah,
and
John,
I'm going to go away.
I just want to throw one more up here. Barb Richardson. I thought I'd listen in, heard about COS on a YouTube page. So, all right.
Good deal, Barb. Thanks.
Glad you could join us tonight, Barb. Thank you. All right, John, you're going to take a break now, right?
Bye.
Bye. Okay, well, welcome, everyone. As John mentioned, my name's Dale Parrish. I'm the state director for Convention of States here in Indiana. And I want to talk to you in this segment about the various educational resources that we have available to us here in Indiana. And every month on the Roundtable, we take one of these resources and we feature it. So tonight, we're going to feature our YouTube channel. Now, and we're going to take the opportunity tonight to announce to everyone that we're changing the name of our YouTube channel. The previous name was COS Indiana. Well, we were kind of running into some difficulties with our national organization and their national YouTube channel. So they've asked us to change the name of our YouTube channel. So we're going to do that. And we have come up with a new name. It's Indiana Patriots for COS. So when you go to our YouTube channel, which we're going to do here very shortly, you'll see a lot of references made to the old name, COS Indiana. But just know that you're now on the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, under a new name, Indiana Patriots for COS. Now, what I want to do for you this evening is I want to kind of give you a tour of our YouTube channel. Now, we can't go live to the YouTube channel. I wanted to do that, but we can't do that because we're also broadcasting to the YouTube channel. We're broadcasting this evening. We're broadcasting through our state Facebook page, Convention of States, Indiana, and we're also live streaming through our YouTube channel, Indiana Patriots for COS. So I can't. I didn't want to try to go on the YouTube channel. I'm afraid I would interfere with the broadcast. So what I've done is I've created a couple videos here for you this evening. And the first one is that I'm going to play for you is, in fact, the trailer that you'll see when you go on the YouTube channel. I've recorded a little trailer, and that will come up when you first go on the YouTube channel. So let me take you to that, and it's very short, won't take very long, then I'll come right back. Hello, my name's Dale Parrish. I'm the State Director for Convention of States here in Indiana, and I want to welcome you to our YouTube channel, Indiana Patriots for COS. The purpose of our YouTube channel is twofold. Number one, we want to provide a live streaming alternative for our Monday evening broadcast, COS Indiana Live. Number two, we want to provide an information and educational resource for everyone. Now, on our YouTube channel, you'll find narrated PowerPoint presentations about COS. You'll find recordings of our Monday evening broadcast, COS Indiana Live. And you'll find recordings of COS Indiana Live contributors that appear on our Monday evening broadcast. And you'll also find many other recordings of items all related to Convention of States. So in summary, we want to welcome you to our YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. And by all means, become a subscriber. Thank you. All right. Well, that is the trailer that you'll see when you first go on our YouTube channel. Now, next, I'm going to play a little video for you where I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of the channel and give you a little more detail as to what you're going to see when you're on our YouTube channel. We really, really do want this to be an information and educational resource for not only Indiana residents and supporters, but anyone who is interested in learning more about Convention of States. So let me bring up this video, and then I'll be right back. Well, now that you've had a chance to watch the trailer, I just thought I would give you a quick review, a little more in-depth review of the channel itself. So this is what you're going to see when you first go to our YouTube channel, Indiana Patriots for COS. And of course, the first thing that we'll play will be the trailer. But what you're going to see then are the playlists that we have created on the channel and the blocks in which we've arranged the playlist for the viewer's convenience. The first block you're going to come to is what is called the contributors. Now, these are the individuals that are COS Indiana Live contributors. These are individuals that have submitted pre-recorded dissertations on different topics that we utilize during the COS Indiana Live broadcast that we do every Monday night. So we've arranged all of them in blocks here. There's Maringo Mike. There's What's Up Doc with Dr. Dan Stock. John's Journal with John Ackerman, and Free to Be Free Moments, and that's Paul Phillips and his with his podcast, Free to Be Free. Now, another block that we have consists in essence of all the broadcasts, that Monday evening broadcasts that we've done since we started the Monday evening broadcast. And this would cover 2019, 20, and 21. So we've got all those past broadcasts arranged there in separate playlists and in a block called Broadcast. Now, in this next block called Basics, these are narrated PowerPoints, mostly of which I have created over the years, covering what I consider as the basics of Convention of States. And while some of these would be dated due to the material used at the time that the recording was created, much of the information still pertains, but those are there for anyone to view that would be interested. Also then, as you know, we have our super volunteer, Debbie Stewart, that comes on COS Indiana Live about once a month and gives us a chapter in constitutional literacy. And now she's giving us also, from time to time, a civics lesson. Debbie is a previous homeschool teacher, so these are all classes that she used to present. So we've captured all those in separate playlists, and I've included those too on the YouTube channel. Then we have podcasts. This would be Paul Phillips' Free to Be Free podcast. And then I've got another category just called Other. These are other playlists that we have of recordings that would be of interest to anyone. And then I have, of course, our roundtable meetings will be on a separate playlist, a separate block here. So that's how we've got the YouTube arranged, the channel arranged. And this, of course, is for your convenience. And I hope you would find this truly an informational and educational resource. Thank you. Okay, well, that pretty well takes care of our YouTube channel. So I want to wrap it up with just a little quick summary. The YouTube channel is just one resource, and we have a number of resources here, as you can see, that are available to us here in Indiana. Our main website, national website, conventionofstates.com, our wiki page, the COS Indiana Live broadcast every Monday evening, of which, of course, the Roundtable meeting that we're on tonight is one of those broadcasts. COS University, and of course, then we have also the Patriot Academy Biblical Citizenship Constitutional Coaches, and of course, then we have our podcast. So we've been choosing one of these to feature every month, and we'll pick another one for the next Roundtable meeting to feature and give you some more information on. So, John, I think that's about it for the educational segment. And let me bring John back up here, and we'll get ready to go into our next segment, John.
Yes, we will. Stay with me, Dale, because you're part of that too.
And
we're going to move.
Start bringing up the rest of the group.
Yeah, bring them up, and I'll introduce them as they make their appearances. Dale is our state director.
Okay.
And we've got 4 others. And first is George Ward. George is our Grassroots coordinator. I see his name. And there's Marty Wood. Marty, welcome. You're our legislative liaison. Glad to have you here. And Gary Harbaugh, our telepatriot administrator. And George might have his camera turned off, but there's Ken Kashuba. Ken is our communications coordinator. So this is our state leadership team, these 5 guys, okay? Dale, did we get any more viewer comments or viewer questions?
Let me see here if we've gotten any more here. Well, we got a couple questions. These both come from our newsletter, one of our newsletter editors, Susan Lyon, and she's got 2 questions here. So this is just the first one, okay? Susan's always got questions. Let me just get that out, okay? But her question is, how quickly can we expect results after a convention of states?
Wow, now that's a good question. One of you 3 guys, either Marty, Gary, or Ken, want to take a crack at that? You got an idea? Silence.
I'll take a crack if nobody else does.
Okay, Gary, what do you think?
Well, it's really hard to determine that because once the convention is held, we presume they're going to propose various amendments, and then it's up to the states to ratify them. And in the past, sometimes it's taken several years, or in one case, nearly 200 years to get an amendment ratified. So it could take several years before the amendments are actually ratified by 38 states and are incorporated within the Constitution, and we begin to see the results.
Yeah. So it all depends on how quickly the state legislatures work. Mm-hmm. Or the alternative way to ratify is a state convention. There could be a convention in each state, either that or the legislature. So what is Susan's other question?
Well, let's see what our next question is here. Would a resolution for term limits affect the Supreme Court justices? That's a good question.
I'm going to throw that one to either Marty or Ken. One of you guys want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take that. We would certainly hope so. Given the history of at least the last several years in particular, and the it doesn't matter what party seems to appoint the Supreme Court justices, they seem to have a mind of their own to create laws which, according to the Constitution, is only entitled to the legislature. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, our government is letting the Supreme Court make new laws all the time, or let them at least be interpreted as such. So the resolution right now, the intent is to limit, to create term limits for every federally elected official.
Yeah, and it would be up to the convention delegates themselves.
Correct.
To write the amendment. And I, for one, would certainly hope that it includes Supreme Court justices, well, all federal judges. Right now, that's really a protected class. They've got a lifetime appointment. Well, it's not quite lifetime. The Constitution says for good service, whatever that means, And so it's very rare to impeach and remove from office a federal judge.
And nobody knows who their supervisor is to determine whether they're providing good service or not.
Yeah, they're really accountable to almost no one. The House of Representatives would have to impeach, and the Senate would have to remove. That has happened, but very rarely. George, welcome. We just had a black screen there, but now your camera's back, and you're here. George is our grassroots coordinator.
I've been here. I don't know where you guys were at, but
well, we just couldn't see you. Okay, Dale, do we have another question from the viewers?
Yeah, we do, John.
Let's see it.
Here's a good one.
Okay, how will a convention of states work? I'm going to throw that one at George. George, how's that thing going to work?
Okay, I just finished up typing a message. Well, once the convention's called, with the 2/3 of the states, just like 2/3 of Congress, to propose an amendment. It takes 2/3 of the states to apply and have the convention called. But once the convention is called, it's really pretty much like any other legislative session, or official meeting of this sort. They meet at the appointed time and place. They set up the ground rules that the meeting will be conducted by. They'll elect the officials that'll run it, like a secretary or president, to reside over the function, and then they just get down to business. A real good example of this is in 2016, we had a simulated convention, and if you go to the webpage conventionofstates.com, up on the top, the tab simulation, simulation will go into that in a lot more detail. It went very well. We had representation from all 50 states at the simulation. Mm-hmm. It was held in Colonial Williamsburg, which I've been to the pottery shop there. It's amazing if you ever have a chance to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, it would be held pretty much like any other, legislative process, as far as breaking down into committees and coming out to the floor, final votes, things of that sort.
And there is a unique thing, I think, that each state gets how many votes?
One
vote. And so it takes 26 yes votes to pass an amendment, to propose an amendment.
Yeah, for an amendment to come out of the convention. Yeah, simple majority to come out of the convention.
So California doesn't get 500 votes and Utah 1 vote. Each state gets.
They can send as many commissioners as they want.
Yeah,
if they can. Because I would think they'd want representation, or at least in eyes and ears in the different committees that are going to be set up. But,
so
each state only gets 1 vote. Yep.
Yeah, they might send dozens and dozens of commissioners, which is the legal name for who these participants will be. But they have to caucus and conduct a little vote, and the majority is going to rule, and they're going to vote yay or nay on each proposed amendment. So it only takes 26, and it's a convention of the states. Each state gets 1 vote. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Okay, what's our next question, Dale?
Yeah, we got another one here, John.
Can a convention of states be limited to a single subject? How about Marty Wood? You give us an answer to that. Okay, Marty?
Absolutely. Well, yes, the short answer is yes, it can. But the longer answer is, why would we want it to? I guess this has happened a number of times. And when the Convention of States was formed back in 2012, 2013, there was a lot of polling done. And, you think about the work that it takes to pass an amendment, to prepare the amendment and get 2/3 of the votes to submit the amendment to the states, and then 3/4 of the states to ratify the amendment. To go through all that work and have a single subject not pass or to linger for many years, they looked at a lot of polling, and they came up with what we addressed in our petition. And they started asking people, how many people are for term limits? And 85% polling showed drastic support, significant support for term limits. Mm-hmm. They said, how would you like to kind of control your federal government a little bit? Do you see there's a need to rein this in? And everybody started saying, yeah, in this day and age, and this has certainly become even more important, in recent years. And then they said, what about balancing the checkbook? States have trouble with this, let alone federal government. And so our dollars are being spent all over the globe. And so significant support for those three things quickly filtered to the top. Mm-hmm. And they thought, well, this is not that many issues. And so any amendment can be submitted that supports those three items in the petition. Yeah. So it's not too broad. It's fairly focused, and the polling suggests that there's going to be a lot of interest in it, and it'll make a lot of sense.
So when this convention happens, it will be limited to those three subjects.
Those three subjects, that's correct.
But there could be a large number of amendments as long as they're related to those three subjects.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Marty. Dale, what's our next question? You bring it up, please. If the federal government ignores the current Constitution, which really happens a lot, why would they adhere to an amended Constitution? Ken Kashuba, try your hand at that one, would you please?
Well, John, I think you kind of hits on something there that I think a lot of people would agree with you. It seems like they're ignoring a lot these days.
Yeah.
But actually, when it comes to the Constitution being amended nowadays, part of what they do is take advantage of loopholes and some vague wording that they use to some people call it lawyering or get around the actual meaning of the amendment. What would happen with newer amendments and the way they'd be written nowadays is we would absolutely leave no loopholes or ways for them to invent new meanings, definitions, come up with their own terms to steer around those amendments. So it's really a difference of the many years. Obviously, you go back 200 or so on years, and it's things have changed in the times we live. So it really would come down to the way that it's written nowadays, where we basically be able to hold their feet to the fire, so to speak.
Yeah, and I've noticed as time went by, the more recent amendments are longer, much more detailed, very specific language. And then, of course, there's recourse to the courts. If some federal official is doing something that's outside the Constitution, all you need is a smart lawyer to go and file a lawsuit. And we saw that happen during the most recent presidential administration, and it's happening during this administration.
Yeah, so I think the lawsuits have to make it hurt. That's for sure, and keep even those sides of things under control. So yep.
Okay, thanks, Ken. That's a pretty good answer. What's our next question going to be? Well, okay, who is Citizens for Self-Governance, and how do they relate to the COS project? I think it's Gary's turn to answer another question. Gary, try that one.
Thanks, John. John, the parent organization of the Convention States Project is an organization called Citizens for Self-Governance. And CSG is dedicated to recruiting, educating, training, equipping, and motivating a nationwide network of self-governing citizen activists committed to bringing government back to the people. Now, this is a pretty large goal, and essentially what we have is the Convention of States Project is a finite project. Once that convention's called, we're not all just going to go home and say, well, thanks, work is done. The organization really wants to create a culture of self-governance throughout all of America, throughout all parts of society, where we the people, are paying attention to what's going on at the state and local level, our school board, city council, county council, at all levels of government, that the people are really watching, paying attention to what's going on, and making their voice heard. And so Citizens for Self-Governance is a huge project to try to create that culture of people across America who want to hold our government to account to we the people.
That's great. Self-governance. Yeah. Thanks, Gary. I think we have time for one more question. And if we do, I'm going to make Dale answer it. Hey, Indiana has passed the resolution. So what can we as a past state do, or any other past state? Dale?
Well, John, our job's done, so we can just lay back and, and just let go with the flow.
Hooray.
Unfortunately, no, our job is just really starting. There are 3 or 4 things that I want to quickly mention here that as to what a past state can do and should do and what we are doing. And number 1 is growing the grassroots. And that's so important, is to get more and more people on board as a supporter for Convention of States, for making this happen. Nationally, we're over 5 million supporters now. Here in Indiana, we're in the neighborhood of about 65,000 supporters. So continuing to grow that base of supporters is one of the main things that we do as a past state. Number 2 is maintaining the relationships with our legislators, our state legislators. These are the men and women that have made it happen for us to become a past state, and we have to maintain that relationship with them, and as well as any new legislators that come on board. We have to, in many cases, we have to educate them as to what Convention of States is all about and what the resolution is all about. Number 3 is affecting legislation. And this is where we need to be involved. Every session here in Indiana, Convention of States goes through a process to pick 2 or 3 pending pieces of legislation that we're going to support, that we're going to throw our support behind to help pass. Obviously, these will be pieces of legislation that we believe in, that coincide with the values of Convention of States and coincides with what we want to see accomplished in our state. So, those are the 3 of the main things that we can do here as a past state. And I might also mention as a 4th item, of course, is to help other states that are still in play that haven't passed the resolution, help them in any way that we can. And we've been involved a lot in telephone missions. Telepatriot missions is what we call them. Making calls into other states to supporters, possibly non-supporters in some cases, to help maybe get out the vote or help in some way to help that state become a past state. We've got 15 states that have passed the resolution, and as everyone knows, Indiana is one of those states. So we got to get to that magic number of 34. So those are things that we can do as a past state.
Plenty to do. We can't just sit back on our laurels and say, there, we done our part.
That is for sure.
Okay, thanks, Dale. Well, I want to thank all 5 of you from our state leadership team for coming on the screen and for answering these important questions from our viewers. Now, as we move into our closing segment, I want to circle around and come back where we started with honoring our veterans. Here is a video on that very subject.
Hello, military families. We are David and Jennifer Faylert from Texas with the Convention of States Action.
We offer you our deepest condolences over the tragic and horrific mission that happened in Kabul, Afghanistan.
We'd like to take a moment to honor and reflect on the brave and courageous young soldiers that gave their lives on August 26, 2021.
Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Darren T. Hoover, 31, of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Marine Corps Sergeant Johanny Rosario Pichardo, 25, of Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole L. Gee, 23, of Sacramento, California.
Marine Corps Corporal Hunter Lopez, 22, of Indio, California.
Marine Corps Corporal Dagan W. Page, 23, of Omaha, Nebraska.
Marine Corps Corporal Humberto A. Sanchez, 22, of Logansport, Indiana.
Marine Corps Lance Corporal David L. Espinoza, 20, of Rio Bravo, Texas.
Marine Corps Lance Corporal Jared M. Schmitz, 20, of St. Charles, Missouri.
Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley J. McCollum, 20, of Jackson, Wyoming.
Marine Corps Lance Corporal Dylan R. Marola, 20, of Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Marine Corps Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nikoy, 20, of Norco, California.
Navy Hospitalman Maxton W. Soviak, 22, of Berlin Heights, Ohio.
Army Staff Sergeant Ryan C. Noss, 23, of Corryton, Tennessee.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So appreciative of all of our active duty service members as well as our veterans. Appreciate you protecting our liberties. Can't say how grateful I am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all that you do for our country and for the freedom that we have because of people like you that are in the military.
To all of our troops, I just wanted to say thank you for protecting us here at home.
We appreciate you, and to borrow words from Winston Churchill, never have so many, owe so much to so few. Thank you again, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you for serving us, for being there, for never standing down. We're here for you. We love you. We support you. And for the families left behind, know that no matter what you hear from the news, we the people are here for you. We'll support you to the end. Thank you.
So from all of us at the Convention of States Action, you are in our thoughts and prayers.
We will stand with you and demand accountability as our fellow Americans. And just know,
we will never forget.
That was a moving tribute. Really appreciate the effort that went into making that video.
That's
Dale?
pretty powerful, isn't it, John?
Yep.
You know, I mistakenly hit the full screen button there. So I hope everybody got to see that all right. But
yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I just it registers with me every time I watch that how young the people were that gave their lives that day. And,
yes, that struck me too.
Very, very, very sad. But I think that was a tremendous way to honor our veterans. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. Okay, John. John, we want you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, before we close, I do see that there was one other question that we didn't pick up on from Barb Richardson. How do we find people in our local area? And you might have a better answer than I do, but I'm going to say, just by going to conventionofstates.com and signing the petition, and then there's the question, and then volunteering and then someone in the state organization or a district captain or somebody will get in touch with Barb. Don't you think, Dale?
Yes, that's what we try to encourage people to do, is that take that first step. And we're going to show you how to do that very shortly here, aren't we?
Well, in fact, right now, if you'd bring up the website,